A few years ago, the Obama administration launched an initiative designed to recognize and honor everyday Americans who do extraordinary things in their communities. It's called Champions of Change, and it falls under President Obama's Winning the Future initiative. And according to the White House, the program is meant to celebrate people who out-innovate, out-educate, and out-build the rest of the world. Each week, these champions are invited to the White House to share their ideas. Terrence Jenkins, actor and co-host of E! News, recently moderated one of those discussions at the White House. The event honored the faculty of historically black colleges and universities who are working to promote college completion. Terrence also is author of the book, The Wealth of My Mother's Wisdom. Hi, Terrence. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
What is Champions of Change?
Champions of Change is a program designated by the White House, and it's to give, like you said, everyday Americans an opportunity to be recognized, and it also, I think, gives the administration the opportunity to see these Americans up close and personal and get a real sense of what's happening in our country for a broad range of issues, from, disabilities and veterans to Latino educators and everything in between.
And it's been going on every week?
Yeah, I think every month.
Don't
quote me on that. Every month, every week. I know this program was for Black History Month, the one that I did, which was for historically black colleges and universities.
And that was your only involvement?
I've done a couple of different meetings at the White House to talk about My Brother's Keeper and other programs that they have, but this is my first actual presentation at the White House, and it was a great program. They had educators and faculty members come from, I think, 11 different historically black colleges and universities from across the country to talk about the issues, to talk about how to help students graduate, to talk about fundraising efforts, and, it was just a great collection of minds.
Have there been a lot less black colleges now since integration and the like?
It's been tough, and that's why, these institutions, when they were implemented, were to help all people of color, and I think it's really important that we keep them going, we keep funding them.
We're talking about like Fisk and Grambling.
Yep, North Carolina A&T, Howard University, Morgan State. I think these colleges are only 3% of the overall cume of colleges, but they graduate 23% of minorities. Of black people. So it's really important to keep them going.
Are you at Steward?
Yeah, I went to North Carolina A&T State University. I didn't get accepted into a lot of other colleges. When I started off, I was really poor in school, and that extra help in that family environment really helped turn my life around. So, when I was 17, I would have had a completely different path if I weren't accepted into this university, and I didn't have the mentor and the people around me that really just changed and altered my life.
Is there a greater percentage of blacks now graduating college than, say, 10 years ago?
Yeah, the numbers grow, but, we still want to increase it. We still want to keep on, especially funding these institutions, which are pillars of the community. And, like I said, I'm a testament. When we had our program, I got to meet some, unique individuals. There's one that's on the board of for Homeland Security. He works for the Homeland Security team. He went to school down in Atlanta from Compton. Keisha Knight-Pullen was on the panel with me as well, an actress and an advocate, another HBCU graduate. And so, these schools are really putting out good work and good students and alumni, and I think they're really important.
Couldn't a lot of these people have gone to, what do we call not white colleges, but say colleges that were not just black colleges or traditionally black colleges?
Absolutely, but if I have to speak for myself, I didn't get accepted. I applied at the time for the University of North Carolina, which was in Chapel Hill. I grew up watching Michael Jordan, and I wanted to go to be a Tar Heel, and I didn't get accepted. And I did get accepted into North Carolina A&T. They took a chance on a kid that was really rough around the edges, and they gave me the opportunity to succeed. And if it wasn't for the radio program and the television and theater program that I participated in when I was there, I wouldn't be on TV today.
A&T stands for Agriculture and Technology, right?
Yeah, yes.
So they still had an emphasis on, like, broadcasting?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and you know that's
That's a misnomer.
It's a misconception. A lot of people think that these schools are limited in some capacity, but no, they had a broad range of students. You know, I was dating a nursing student for a couple of years. Like they have all types of different curriculums, and yeah, I had a great radio program there, and all of those programs that helped me out today.
These colleges were born out of segregation, right?
Absolutely.
Do you still see a problem in higher education today?
I think it's getting better, but you know, I think everything needs to be more inclusive. So I just want to see more young people, especially of color, go to college and get that experience.
Do you see the end of these traditional black schools in the, say, 10-year period?
Not as long as I'm around. You know, I'm doing it my part.
Why should there be a need for them?
I mean, first of all, you know, it's part of our culture. That's like asking, you know, there are traditional female colleges. That's like saying, why do we have those? Or, you know,
Catholic schools.
Yeah, there are different Catholic schools. Like, why do we have those? You know, it's, I think there's a need for them. They educate. They put out a ton of teachers a year. Like I said, they're only 3% of the total cume of colleges, but yet they graduate 23%. And I think that's because of the atmosphere and the environment and, you know, the history and legacy that are there.
Is it me that's stupid, or why haven't I heard more about Champions of Change?
The administration has a lot of different programs.
Deserves more attention.
Yeah, I think this one, I think it's an awesome program. I've always looked at the White House when I was growing up as some esoteric, you know, building that you could never go to. And even when I did this program last week, I still was a little nervous as I walked into the hallways. And it was incredibly inclusive. It was an incredibly warm atmosphere. And to see college kids amongst faculty there in that environment sharing ideas. You know, I heard professors say, okay, I'm going back to Morehouse in Atlanta with something that I've learned for you to help my students graduate. And that's what I think it all comes down to.
That's a great idea. What do you make of the Obama proposal about free community colleges?
I think in order for America to continuously be, you know, on top of things, I think college is essential. And I think having a secondary education is incredibly important. And I think giving people that opportunity is amazing. And I don't think that it takes away from HBCUs in any way. No, I don't think so.
An effect on them?
I don't think so.
More with E! News co-anchor Terrence Jenkins after this. Do historically black colleges offer its students something other colleges don't?
You know, it's a very unique atmosphere. And when you say historically black colleges and universities, I think a lot of times people think that's not inclusive. But, you know, I had white kids that went to school. There were Latino kids that were in my class. You know, we had white professors and we had Hispanic professors, Asian. Like, you know, it was inclusive. But, I mean, there's just nothing like, Larry, I got to take you to a black college homecoming. You and me, we got to go
to Howard University.
Okay, you've been to Howard, so
not to a homecoming.
Okay, so we have to go to a Howard University homecoming or North Carolina A&T or FAMU homecoming. When we go, the food that you taste, the culture and the experience is unlike anything. And now in my career, you know, I work with a producer named Will Packer who went to an historically black college, and we have that type of relationship. You know, when I talk with Steve Harvey, he's a member of my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi. So it's not just the experience you get when you're there, but it's also the networking and, you know, the network that you build that is very unique and special to an historically black college. About
your book, The Wealth of My Mother's Wisdom, what influence did she have on you?
Larry, my mom had me when she was 17 years old, and I never had a chance to meet my father. And when I think about, you know, where I am today, I still don't know if I could properly raise a child. And to know that she was 17 and 18 and sacrificed everything and was so, you know, smart and so savvy at that stage in her life, to know that it was important for me to go to college and the things that she nurtured and taught me, I decided to write a book to honor her and to also honor, you know, all mothers out there. Because mothers, they do so much for us. They're underappreciated. And I wanted to share my mother's wisdom with, you know, people that follow me so that they can learn some of the things that I learned.
Do you think Selma got a bad deal at the Oscars?
You know, I would have liked to see it win a little bit more. I thought it was an incredible movie.
The only thing was the portrayal of Lyndon Johnson was wrong.
Was it?
Oh, I knew all those players, man.
Really?
He tried everything he could
to make it
I guess
happen.
they just wanted to have add a little
it's a movie.
spice to the story, but
Movie.
he was portrayed completely wrong.
Got it.
What about 12 Years a Slave? How important was that movie?
It was really important. You know, I remember sitting in, I went and saw it in the movie theater, and the scene, you know, where Lupita was getting whipped, and just to see people's reaction and the way they cringed. I think it's important to understand where we've come as a country in order for us to move forward. And, you know, when you watch a World War II epic and you're able to look at it and learn from it and learn from what happened, you know, it's growth there. And I think that a film like 12 Years a Slave is incredibly important because it's our history.
Have you seen racism living here?
Yeah, of course.
In Hollywood?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
give me an example. I mean, it's so easy to be walking the other man's shoes. It's not easy.
Yeah.
I try to do that all the time.
You know what I would say, and it's not only a black thing. I would love to see more inclusiveness, period. You know, I thought Chris Rock had an incredible article in the Hollywood Reporter a couple of months ago where he just talked about, you know, just having the town more inclusive, just seeing more people of diverse color in different positions, whether it's Hispanics, you know, Asian, just across the board, just seeing more people of color.
How are you doing at E?
I love it. I love it. Having a lot of fun.
What's your role? What do you want to be in 10 years? What do you want to be doing?
You? A combination of you and Will Smith. We'll figure out how that works.
You want to be an actor too?
Yeah, I love acting.
Have you gotten roles?
Yeah, I had a couple of films. Think Like a Man, Kevin Hart, who's a good friend of mine, and Will Packer, who I talked about earlier. We did the films. Yeah, I think the two of them have gone over 150 million domestically. So I'm
well, what would you lean more to? Would you rather be an anchorman at a major news network, or be a regular player in a lot of Hollywood movies?
I love the duality of being able to do both. I love being able to tell a story and jump into a character, and I love film for that. There's nothing like, you know, walking into a movie theater and seeing somebody laugh because of, you know, something that you worked on. So that's an incredible experience. I also love the timeliness and the immediacy of being on television every day. And when there's an issue, when there's something happening, when there's something, you know, pop culture or viral to talk about, it's fun to be able to be a part of that story and to you know, be a part of that conversation.
Great meeting you, Terrence.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Terrence Jenkins. The book is entitled The Wealth of My Mother's Wisdom. And of course, you can catch him on E! News at 7 and 11 p.m. as he co-anchors.